So last year in October, we went to Christchurch to go and see Alicia's family friends. So, we're just going to explain how the activities kind of worked, just so you get an idea of like how Alicia can actually do this kind of stuff. So, a lot of planning went into this, and it's all down to Richard and Cindy and their family and friends down in Christchurch. They put a lot of effort into it, and when he called me up before, he was like, we're doing this and this is how we're doing it and this is who's coming along and this is all the safety procedures we've thought about, and it's just insane. Like, you know, we wouldn't have been able to do any of that without them, so huge thank you is owed to them. And so for the rafting, Alicia was wearing maybe 4 layers of clothing or 5, something like that. And basically inside the raft, the first thing they had was a boogie board across the bottom, and then they had a lilo, an inflatable lilo, that Alicia sat in, and it was quite a good width or length because it was just long enough to squeeze either side, like inside the raft, so it kind of wedged itself in. And so Alicia sat in that, but she was also inside a sleeping bag and inside this like yellow plastic bag to keep her warm because it was pretty cold. Because it was October, but it was still pretty cold. Really windy, yeah. It was really windy. And it snowed while we were down there, but not on that day. Basically, everyone was paddling, apart from Alicia. So she was just sitting there like a princess, like, honestly. It would have been the craziest thing, and we were all like... And it was actually quite tough, because we went down this river for a good couple of hours, and so, well, it was tough for me. It probably wasn't tough for the guys, because they do that kind of stuff all the time, but I was tired, like, I was really tired. And so partway through, like, if Alicia started to slip over a little bit, or her helmet started slipping back, she'd be like, Leah, like, help me. So I'd be like, oh guys, I've got to stop paddling, like, oh, what a shame. But actually I'd like just take really long to do it, so I could, oh guys, I'm just singing to Alicia. But, yeah. Or sometimes because we had 3 people paddling on the left and 2 people paddling on the right, it actually got too powerful with me paddling. So then Richard was like, Leah, just stop paddling. And I'd be like, oh, okay, oh no, I'm gonna stop paddling. So yeah, it was so beautiful. Like, we had mountains all around us, and after about an hour, the weather on one side just got really black. Like, I'm not even kidding. It was like blue sky and clouds and the birds chirping, and then on the side it was like black. Like, honestly, it was like nighttime, but it would have been at like 3 p.m. or earlier than that. And we were like, oh no, we are going to die. We're going to be stuck in this storm. And as we got closer and closer to the end, the wind started picking up. And then, yeah, literally just as we pulled up the raft to the shore where we had the rest of our support crew all waiting for us with the car and, you know, like towels and warm clothes, even though none of us were wet at all. Yeah, pretty much as soon as we lifted Alicia out of the raft, it started chucking it down, like hailing, like, oh my goodness. So the next day, crazy adventure number 2, we went up to Castle Rock, and and it started snowing, like, as soon as we got there. But it wasn't cold, it was just, it was like beautiful blue sky, but it was snowing, it was insane. And I'd never seen snow in New Zealand before, so I was like, oh my god. And so all the guys carried Alicia in her chair up the rock, and I was just like behind them, and then I ran up in front just filming them, and just watching them. It was quite funny because I didn't have to do anything. It was quite nice just to let other people do stuff. At first they wanted to do the abseil in her chair. But Alicia was like, what if my chair breaks? Like, no! So I said to them, I think it would work if we took her out of her chair, because she's got quite a lot of power in her arms and legs. Like, a lot of power. Like, she punched me in the nose today, and it really hurt. And I'm so surprised that it's not broken, because it still hurts. So I said, like, I think she could, like, push off the wall with her feet. And so they're like, oh, cool. Like, they were like, oh, I didn't realise that she could do that. I thought she was just, like, floppy. But she's actually quite powerful. They did yours at the top, right? And Ruben was on you. Or Ruben did his own. Oh, that's right. So obviously, because you know when you abseil, you have the rope here and you feed it through to. Obviously, Alicia can't do that. Like, it would be a disaster. Like, can you imagine if you were like, here, have control of your rope? She'd be like, see ya! And then she'd be at the bottom in like 5 seconds. So what they did was. Did, yeah. So Ruben did his own abseiling, and they did it for Alicia at the top. So she did it twice. The first time was terrible. It was a bit of a fail. Like, she pretty much got carried down the rock. But then when she got to the bottom, we were like, do you want to do it again? So she's like, yes, obviously. Which is quite funny because you were actually quite scared to begin with. That was one of the coolest things we've done, the abseiling. And I think it was because you actually got to, and I remember you saying that you got your shoes dirty. You never have the opportunity to get your shoes dirty, but this time you were actually using your own legs, and which is quite cool. So a big thank you again to Richard and Cindy and everyone else down there that helped. That was super, super cool. We'll be back one day. And yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching our video. See you next time. Woo! And remember, you're Bye.